we have a quorum, so we can go ahead and approve previous meeting minutes if everybody get a chance to read them.
Yep.
Motion to approve the meeting minutes from November.
Before I second, I sent Sean a comment on the minutes. The only discrepancy that I noticed was that on the heading "Next Meeting Will Be," he inserted the January date like you would do on the agenda instead of tonight's actual date. So I don't know if he updated those. So so if you want to amend your motion, Jim, with accept the minutes, but with the changes that have to be added in, I'll second that.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, then do a vote. Bob,
Yes, aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Lucas,
Aye.
Justin, aye. All right, meeting minutes approved with the exception of changing the meeting date to today.
Just as a point of order, just for because this is being taped, those same votes in addition to Justin Souza being here. So that's our attendance for this month.
Okay. Moving on to VA rep notes. Justin, do you have anything you'd like to pass on? I was
Yes.
trying to judge it when you had a spoonful of something in your mouth.
Oh, you want me to take another bite?
Yeah, I'll get better at it next time.
The commanders of the VFW and the American Legion have brought to my attention that they would like to talk to me about the advisory board and what the purpose of the board is. So they have scheduled an appointment with me next Tuesday in the morning time to meet with me in Grafton at the office there. So I'm going to mention that the intent in my mind and the mission statement is to assist in veterans things throughout the town, not in any way, like your intent is not in any way to get in the way of anybody, as you stated in the advisory committee intro letter. You must work with the other veteran town organizations that are already helping our veteran community. I think that right there spells it out. I think the commanders are worried because they're not 100% understanding the intent of the board. They're worried that they're going to try and step on their toes and get in the way. And I also feel like they might want to be invited to be a part of the board. So if that's okay with the board itself, I was going to extend an invitation to have them either the commanders do the letter of I believe all they have to do is a letter, right, to the board of to the select board to ask to be appointed. And then the select board will go.
Yes,
Okay.
I believe that's all it is because there's no elections for this. So
Right.
I think once the letter goes to the board or to the select committee, then they'll ask me, I believe.
Okay.
Is how it's
So I would be ready then, Justin. I think you're going to get at least one, if not two applications, maybe not from Carmen and Stan directly. That's the American Legion and VFW commanders respectively. You may get an appointee from them. They may ask one of their members of their organizations to jump on. Now, Jim, are you part of the Legion?
Yes, I am.
You are. Okay. So has Carmen mentioned anything to you about this?
I have to him.
You have.
And I sent him a letter and told him what we were doing and that would like to have him come on at least if he wanted to sit in. And I was very abundantly clear that we're not looking to duplicate anything. We're just actually trying to see if there's anything that we can help him with.
Awesome.
Things like that.
Okay. Yeah, that's exactly what I feel they're looking to hear from me. I think I'm not 100% sure, but they've both scheduled an appointment with me at the same time. So I will let the board know how that goes afterwards. But I'm hopeful that they're going to be supportive of the advisory committee and willing to participate, or at least maybe do what they're doing and identify some areas where the board can help. Like you've mentioned, I don't know.
Okay.
They can,
Bob, I saw you
they can request to attend the meeting.
Yeah,
And they can be sent a link. So, I mean, there'd be non-voting, but it'd be great to have their influence like during the course of the meeting, and they could see who we look like, you know?
yeah. No, I think that would be great. I think aside from the Legion and VFW, the committee here is the only other existing veteran group in town, right? So I think having all three of the groups together would be a good idea. And then that way they can, give you guys direct input versus having to come through either you at Jim or through me. I think having them here at the meetings would be good.
Bob, you had something?
Yeah. Despite their interest in joining the committee, I'm not 100% certain on this, but I'm thinking that they might not be added until the June, July timeframe like we were. What do you think, Jim?
That's possible, but at the same time, they may not want to be on another committee. So I think, if we offer them the opportunity to monitor, and then if they'd like, if you want to become a member, here's what you do.
Right.
That might be, because if we say, oh, we want you to be a member, and then you say, I can't be on another committee,
Yeah. And the other topic that is a concern is that depending on who they nominate or bring forward to come on and join us, they may or may not be Zoom capable. Or they may or may not be Zoom friendly. So when that conversation is had, Justin, that's something to keep in mind. So item number one would be you can apply, but you might not be officially appointed until June, July. And keep in mind that currently, due to COVID, all the meetings are still on Zoom. So it might just create another hurdle.
What I was thinking, go ahead, Justin.
Thank you. So I will check with Evan Brassard, or Brassard. How does he say it? Brassard?
Brassard?
Brassard. Okay. I'll check with the town manager, Evan, about the appointments schedule, and just so I have that information. And then I will make sure to make a note of the Zoom capabilities.
Okay. The other thing that I was thinking was, it could be based off of, and I'll get into this more whenever I get to the town administrator meeting notes, but based off of what Evan and us talked about, there may be an opportunity maybe to just have liaison members, but they're not voting members. Which I mean, it's one thing if they're applying and they're coming in to represent as the veteran, but I'm hesitant to have, VFW and Legion members on the board as voting members. And then, if you're now trying to do something that's, hey, look, this falls outside of what y'all are doing. We're trying to do this, but they don't agree with that. Then all of a sudden you could have dissent in that. So I don't know. It is a kind of a concern of mine, but Justin, you had something else.
In the direction of like liaison members, I mean, this is a public meeting, right? This is a public body, so they could just join and watch, and that would be the same as being a non-voting. Well, would that be the same as being a non-voting member?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
More or less.
And since you'd hesitate to have Legion people on here, I guess we gotta say bye to Jim, huh?
What do I think that this has been planned?
I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think maybe just they might have the board was put together, or the select board, it was brought to the select board well in advance of my preparations, also without any of my notice. So when the board was appointed and applications were received for the board, it went right over my head. I had no idea that was being done until Bob came to talk to me, because I didn't realize it was going that quickly. I had intended to extend an invitation to the commanders of both the Legion and the VFW, just to kind of forego any type of what's happening now. Because I think they're unhappy that they weren't asked to be a part of it right away. Excuse me. I don't know if I don't know if Carmen has alluded to that at all, but that's the impression that I've gotten through Dave Callahan. He gave me a phone call and said that he's the one that set up the appointment with the guys. So I'm not sure if that's all they really are looking for, is just a formal invitation to participate or whatnot. But hopefully we'll have more information then. So I just don't want anyone to have any hurt. I don't want, I guess, hurt feelings over this. You know, I want this to be a good thing, and I want this to be to work as seamlessly as possible with the other veterans groups in town.
I'm exactly in lockstep with Stoney. I think the whole idea, if you approach them, is first to approach them if you want to be like a liaison and state it that way, so that they don't have to be at every meeting and things like that. Because I'm thinking that running their own individual posts, they've got a lot to do anyway. So if they're offered, you know, like at least come on and meet the board, because we'd love to, meet you as well, things like that. But don't say, well, you know, we can make you a member of the board. I think that might scare them away.
And Jim, we actually talked about that, having them come out for our January meeting. We were going to discuss that a little bit more here today, but I had that down from our last meeting notes. So Justin, it'd be a great opportunity. Have them, by all means, it's an open forum for everyone. So they're more than welcome to come in on the January meeting and see what it's about. Okay.
So I'll lead with that. I'm glad I mentioned that, because your guidance is very helpful in forming my conversation with them. So I'll lead with an invitation. Well, I'll lead with an invitation to the January meeting, and then if they have any questions, go into like a liaison style offer first, and then if they have any further questions, I'll say maybe ask them at the meeting. That way they can ask you directly, and they're not, because I don't run the board, you know, that's you, Justin. So that way they can come on and they can ask you questions directly. Would that be okay?
Yes. Yeah, that would be preferred. So
all right, that's how I'll do it then.
And I think the big thing to stress is, as everybody has mentioned, we're not in competition with them. It's identifying those areas where they need some assistance, or there's gaps that we can approach and we can try to fill. So do you have anything else, Justin?
The only other thing is leading up to, I saw that there's a veteran banner thing line for discussion. I have a few items for that, but as far as like my work goes, we are down an employee. The guy that usually covered Shrewsbury stepped down. So we've taken a little bit of a hit as far as capabilities, mostly in Shrewsbury, but that's our largest town. So it's impacting the rest of the district, because now I'm covering that office hour where it used to be covered by an employee. So, but we're going to be looking for someone to take over that position. I don't know if I can talk about this now, but the job will be posted soon, I hope. So if it's going to be part-time, I think it's gonna be 19 hours a week. So if you happen to know anyone who might be looking to pick up a part-time job to maybe supplement their income, or someone who's retired who knows computers well, going to be looking for someone to do a lot of admin work, basically. It's not super exciting, but it is helping people directly by filing their paperwork for them. So if you didn't know of anybody, might be looking for 19 hours a week, something like that. When the job's posted, I'll be sure to send an email to you so you can bring it to their attention. Okay.
That works.
Awesome.
We were taking bets. We were wondering if he quit because you were yelling at your kids, but he thought you were yelling at him.
Oh, who just now? Or
No, the Shrewsbury person.
No, he, I think he's just done. He's reached the very end of his willingness to work. I think he likes helping veterans, but I just think with the COVID environment, it's changed a lot. So Mike will be missed. If Mike for any reason sees this, he will be very missed. I still get to work with him and he has a full-time position with the state. He's the state military records chief of the military records branch. So anytime someone needs a DD 214 from Massachusetts, he's the guy you go to. So
nice.
he's still around. We still get to talk to him. But yeah, no, I didn't. Yeah, whoops. That would be a bad.
No, it was fine. All right, so moving on. So Bob and I met with Evan a couple of weeks ago now to talk about a couple of different things. One was the Polish monument, and then the other was the Sailors and Soldiers Committee. The Polish monument, Bob, have you received any updates from Evan on that?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Of course, the
So
closer we got to Christmas, the likelihood of that went down.
Yeah. So when we left the office, he said that was just kind of on the back burner, but he was going to take a look at, he was looking at one of the local crypt companies, the people that does like mausoleums and stuff, because they specialize in moving granite. So he was going to reach out to them and get some costs and stuff like that and see about moving it. We decided moving it down the street to the park where there's already some memorials, and we would just kind of stick it off in the back. It would look really nice. And basically it eliminated the need to do any other kind of work. You just put the monument there. It's a natural flow to the rest of the park and the other memorials there. So we've got all that solved, just waiting on the company to come and move it. And then we also talked about the Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Board, and explained all of our concerns with it. There is more to come. He was very open and receptive to our different ideas. And these were things that he was going to bring up at the next select board hearing. And we're just sitting back and waiting for the information to come back down to us. But as of right now, very, very positive conversation on that. So we'll see what they come back with. Justin? You're on mute.
Muted, Justin.
Thanks. I'm sorry. I'm usually really good about that. I thought I clicked it. I've had a couple conversations with Evan about one of the Polish monument. So if there's any type of support my office can give in communicating with him or seeking quotes for movers like the memorial and stuff like that, if I don't talk to him directly about it and someone from this board does, you can mention that to him. I'm happy to help in any way that I can. And then as far as the Soldiers and Sailors, trustees of the Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Committee, it had died out a few years ago and then was reconstituted with a slew of about 4 or 5 new members or more current members. And then it's kind of fallen apart again with COVID. And I don't know what your conversation exactly was with him, Stoney, but with Evan. But I think that might be something that this board, if it wants to, might be able to step in and do some work similar to what that committee did. Just because I think the membership of that committee is not going to be able to fulfill the duties of the committee, especially with COVID being on. So I would like to, yeah, Bob.
Oh. You weren't supposed to stop talking. I'm next.
Yeah, it's just letting me know for after.
I thought you were being like, ceasefire. So again, with the Soldiers and Sailors, if I can be of any assistance with that, I'm happy to. But if you don't need me involved in it, I'm also very happy to step aside and let you and Evan and everyone else handle that.
Okay. Well, there was a couple of things that we talked about. One was if we wanted to absorb it. Another is the different, is basically getting new people on the board. So there was a couple of different things that we talked about. I'm a little hesitant to go into any more detail until we hear back from Evan on it, which will then, draw votes and all that kind of stuff. But so just playing the way in a holding pattern until then. Bob, do you have something?
Yeah, just to touch on the 2 points. Yeah, the 2 points that you started with, the soldiers, the Polish Home Memorial. It's on a back burner, but not because of a lack of interest. It was on a back burner because there wasn't any there wasn't anyone interested in the property at the time that we met, and it could quickly move from the back burner to the front burner if somebody came forward to buy the property. That's the way I heard it. I'm pretty sure you. Yeah. Okay. The second item was. Evan also advised us to advise all of you to just remain patient, because the makeup of the other committee and the performance of their duties, it's not in our wheelhouse. It's not for us to be concerned with, and it's not for us to worry about. And he asked to express that to everyone here, that it falls on his shoulders and the select board to take care of it. So, and then in conjunction with Justin Souza. So just so that, he heard us, and that was what his advice was.
And he appreciated the heads up that our committee is doing. So there's definitely it's appreciative the forward progress that we're trying to make within this. He did have a lot of positive stuff to say about the veteran community and town of Grafton, and wanted to support them and the creation of this committee and stuff like that. So, but as Bob said, it's a slow pace, and we confirmed that with him. Yep, this is just definitely something that is on our list of things to ask about, but it's moving forward. So for now, we're just going to let that rest until they come back and tell us the way forward. Yep. Just
as an aside, one of the things that Justin and Evan like to talk about is buying a tank to put somewhere in town. And
let's do it.
So, and Justin has assured Evan that he knows exactly where to get a tank, and it won't be too difficult. But so if something like that came down the road, if there was a project of great urgency, such as Justin has found a tank, then you can rest assured that we would probably be part of that project. So, but until such time, until Justin gets his hands on a tank, we can just sit and relax and take it easy.
So that is something that I actually reached out to DoD organization, and they got back to me with the process on how to do it. And I want to say it cost somewhere between 40 and 60 grand to get the tank delivered and installed, which, when you think about it, is
cheap.
fairly cheap for it. But they're typically non-working, and basically the group I talked with was a monument or memorial reappropriation arm of the DoD, where they take stuff from older posts or decommissioned bases, things like that, and ship them to a new position or new group or new place that's looking for a new memorial or something like that. So I think maybe in January I would like to talk, if you would like to dive a little deeper into that, what type of memorial you would want to have, what type of equipment you would want to look for, and I'll make the email packet I got with all the instructions available to the board for your viewing pleasure. It's a lot of nice government speak, so
we could always approach Harvard and offer to park their tank that they use in the parades for the for the Man of the Year and the Woman of the Year for the Hasty Pudding Club, that they can park it in Grafton and then come and get it for the parades.
I'd love to see that driving on 495.
Yeah.
So
I've seen it driving through Harvard Square. It can't be that bad.
Justin, I like the idea of the memorial, but based off what Bob said and what Evan told us, I don't have a problem putting it on for January, as long as everybody understands that we're just talking about getting the information, not pursuing getting any memorials or anything like that. We need to let the select board's process work with the other committee first.
Oh yeah, no, I totally understand. I think just having the conversation about what, like, starting the plan, starting talking about the information that we would need to make a plan. I think that's what I'm going to make available so that you're aware of it.
Okay. You know,
Yes.
I'm good with that, and I'm definitely down with sharing all that information and getting it out right now. So,
Okay.
Bob, did I miss anything else from those notes?
No, I think that's pretty much what we discussed.
Okay.
Sean's trying to get your attention.
Yeah, Sean.
Am I on? Sam.
Yeah.
Can
I
you hear me?
now.
You can hear me now. All right. Sorry, I'm late to the party. When we said moving it down the street, are we talking about the park that is near the South Grafton Village development?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's you told us that Evan has or has not contacted a company about moving the granite.
They had not contacted them yet.
All right, would it be okay if I was to reach out to someone like Swenson Granite on Route 20 in Shrewsbury, and just to, maybe they would donate time and effort, or maybe something to that effect when the time comes. So, I don't know if this group would be for or against at least having that in our back pocket, so to speak.
I think having the company name and info in our back pocket is fine, but I'm hesitant to say let's reach out right now because Evan was the letter came to the select board, and Evan was very clear that the select board was dealing with the process.
Okay.
And so as of right now, I think let's let them continue to keep moving forward with it. Come February timeframe, if we're still, if nothing really has moved forward on it, then maybe we approach Evan again and just say, hey, look for a status update on it.
Okay.
As Bob said, they really aren't. This is in the back burner because no one really is interested in buying that property. Bob took a walk through the property and was it's like, yeah, the only other people that would want to buy it are people that would want to open up a Polish house, so Polish national house, because the way it's all set up. So,
okay,
we'll see.
That could be a order of conditions for the zoning board or the planning board. You want us to approve your development, you move the stone to where we want it, and you appropriately assemble it or reassemble it, however you want to say that. Okay, no, that's fine. I'm okay with all that.
But I think putting that company that you just mentioned in the minutes, like just listing out their name, because then that way, if, like I said, a couple of months from now, we go back up to Evan and he's like, hey, you know what, we've got too much on our plate. We're just going to hand it over to y'all. It'll be easy for us to reach back in and
okay.
And that's the other thing too, because if he's got to go out and get 3 bids, and if it goes to these people that you talked about, and they listen to this meeting and hear somebody on the board saying, we should contact this company, they could make a claim that there was an inappropriate
that's true too.
requisition of the job there.
Yep.
Does that still apply if the company is donating time and material?
But if we approach them, that's the whole thing. If we
Okay.
approach them, why didn't we approach anyone else and ask them that?
Well, I agree with you, but as we're thinking this through, I'm thinking of some companies that I have recently done business with personally when I was remodeling areas, well, landscaping in my yard. So that's how I've come across a few different names of people that work with granite and paving, landscaping, let's call it that.
Right.
So I guess like as Justin said, for the time being, we just put it, maybe we add it to our minutes that, we would recommend we would suggest that they contact these local companies that do granite work.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
call it that.
and again, let's be careful. I think if anything, if the purchasing agent for the town approaches us and asks us if we know of anyone who might be in this business, that's the point in time that we would solicit that
Okay.
information.
Yeah.
All right,
But let's just watch what we say, please.
Yep.
okay. Sounds good to me.
The only other two things that I have down that we talked about with Evan is you mentioned a networking coffee hour that he put on before at his previous town. And I believe we talked about that last month as well. But then Evan also had done a job fair, and he had all the information. I was going to wait until after the holidays and reach out to him to try to get some more information on it. But it was basically, it sounded really good. It sounded very similar to what we were talking about, maybe putting on at some point later on, maybe spring of this coming 2022. So if he's already got kind of a layout done and we can just take it and there's already companies on there or something like that, then, we'll try to cannibalize any information that he already has. But both of those two things really stood out to me as well, just at the end when we were just talking. Any questions on any of those notes? Yep, Sean.
On that note, I did mention, I believe in the minutes or whatever, about speaking with John Allen about a veteran-owned business workshop. So those two would tie together perfectly, I
Yes.
believe. Okay, great.
And that's why those things really stuck in my mind. Also, just to give you an update, we approved the minutes with the exception of with the caveat that the next meeting was showing January instead of December. Bob said he sent you an email on it. So
He did, and I just saw it 5 seconds ago.
yep, no worries.
Okay.
So if you could just update that, then the minutes are approved.
Okay.
All right. Moving on our agenda then, Bob, would you mind giving us an update on the coat drive?
Yeah, so the coat drive box was dropped off by Stoney TV studio, which we put out for the open house, which was on December 5th. And so far we've collected one coat for a little boy or a little girl. And the box is still in our lobby. We can, was thinking we could ask the select board to announce that we still have it there and we're still willing to take donations if anybody wants to drop by. But once we get to the end of January, we probably should wrap it up because next thing you know, it's February, March, and people aren't looking for winter coats. So, but it's still there, and we'll see where we can say we did it, and we're going to do it again next year, and hopefully we'll get even more participation. So,
Sean, do you have
Bob, can I just ask you, before you actually make that box go away, could you just if I haven't brought anything down there, could you just let me know? Because I know that I have some stuff and I'm reluctant to get in the closet and say, yeah, I'll never use this. Yeah, I'll never use this. And this should encourage me to do it, but I'm so much of a lazy bastard that's probably not going to work either. So,
okay, so your deadline
But
is
anyway.
your deadline's January 31st, Jim.
okay. Sure, that'll make a big difference.
Jim, I'm guilty of that same thing to a degree, but because when I read about the Jim Labby at All Phase Glass having another truck going south to Kentucky, I donated some materials, and I did do like a quick sweep of my closet. And yeah, I probably could have dropped it off at the cable office on my way by to South Grafton. But anyway, long story short, I sent material and tools and stuff like that to
You're a fine American,
Kentucky.
Sean.
So maybe we got upstaged by that, or being a more urgent need. So I wouldn't call our attempt a complete failure, but as you know, as Bob said, we just, hey, put it in there. Hey, we tried it. We're going to do it again next year. And God willing, we don't have another hurricane or
Well, and
tornado, rather.
I think honestly, the best time to do a coat drive would be in fall, because that's when everybody's like, oh, I think I want a new coat. You know, what am I going to do with the old coat? So I think if we started earlier, we get the word out, I think it would be a better chance of getting things.
There's a real good chance that next year, if Chief Crapo has National Night Out, which the TV studio has always participated in, that would probably be a good night. It's August, and maybe we have a little bit more of lead time to announce the fact that we're going to collect votes and drop them off in the box in August, so they can be distributed in December and January. So that might work too.
But yeah, great idea. I like that.
All right. Moving on, Jim, the Goulet Post Senior Center update. You received anything?
Yeah, I got a hold of Carmen in Goulet Post, as I had said earlier, and when I said I spoke with them, I really haven't spoken with them. I've exchanged emails and essentially just telling them, again, who we are, what we're hoping to do, and the reassurance that, we're not looking to step on anybody's toes or take anyone's, I praised them for the great work that they do all the time, like in the parades and so forth. But we're new, and if you think there's anything we could do to help you, we'll do that. And that was that. I got a hold of Lisa Kelly in the Senior Center, and her take was that there's not a lot of, and this was I thought a very interesting observation. She says, well, I don't run into a lot of younger people. This is just for seniors. And like what I had said to her is that, a veteran essentially, is anyone who served, so they don't have to be old, young. There's no number there at all. But she works with like people doing aid for heating, and the Shine people are there talking about health insurance and things like that. But what she's going to do is if she runs into anyone that is a veteran, she'll send their name along, or if anyone is inquiring about veteran services or anything like that, she's going to send their name along. So we'll see if any one of them pan out.
I think the other good thing, besides just knowing veterans, is hearing what issues are out there right now. We throw out a lot of great ideas. I think last time we talked about taking veterans to medical appointments. We talked about the job fair and stuff. But if that's not a need in the community, then I would rather focus on what the need is as of right now and put those great ideas off to the side until there is a need for those, or until we get a little bit more established. So if they also just have any, hey, this is the problem that I'm constantly hearing. People don't know who their rep is. People don't know where they can go to fill out these forms. And maybe it's something as simple as, well, we just need to print out forms for people and put it in the senior center somewhere where they can go and get a copy of it. Like any of those kind of ideas. It doesn't just have to be the people, just what are you hearing in conversations as well. And Justin, that'd probably be a good point to bring up whenever you have your meeting as well. just that's what we're looking for as of right now. Anything else on that agenda topic?
No, it's just, we got to remind ourselves that, we haven't even hit puberty yet. And, when you're young,
Yes.
and you're in a real hurry, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. If we weren't being recorded, I'd tell you the story about the old bull and the young bull at the top of the cliff there, looking down at the herd of cows.
He's going to tell it anyway.
I can do it. But basically
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it.
No, I won't. I better not. But it's funny.
You make my job harder because I have to bleep all that stuff out.
All right.
Well, but that is a great point, Jim. But I think what's really good about our membership is I always catch somebody saying something along those lines. We start getting ahead of ourselves, and then there's always somebody that's like, okay, well, hang on, let's pull ourselves back. So I think as long as we keep doing that, we keep track of all of these great ideas that we are bringing up. And it's something that we talked about with Evan. We've got a lot of great ideas, but right now we're just looking for our niche. Where do we fit in? Where are the needs, the small wins that we can do? So I think great point. And then the veteran banners for Memorial Day.
I think Sean's got another question.
Oh,
Well, more of a comment to tie in with what Jim said about talking to Lisa, and like I know she's in the senior center, mostly seniors and stuff, but I know the veterans name escapes me. Anyway, there's a buddy check program through American Legion. Sorry, the American Legion tries in their magazine and stuff, mentions buddy check program, maybe touch and base with a neighbor type of thing. So maybe we could, I don't know, in a conversation with Lisa or others, mention something to that effect. Hey, if you know of somebody in your neighborhood, maybe if you don't want to talk to them, or then send the name to Lisa or us or whatever, and we can maybe just ring the doorbell and say, hey, how's it going, type of thing. Other than that, the gentleman in the corner picture here, I know another gentleman that I've seen getting in and out of the house, and I've stopped to talk to him a couple of different times. But he says he has friends that are taking him to doctor's appointments. He's all set. So, but if there's anybody else that might, I'm not saying we jump up and start doing van rides, but maybe we coordinate that thing via the senior center or the Veterans Administration itself. I know the clinic in Worcester does have a van that shuttles people, but all right. So that was my comment on the senior center and such as that. So.
Okay.
And Jim, you're not the only one. I see a dog in the background.
Yeah. She likes to be in my meeting.
Why am I not the only one? Because there's a dog in the background, Sean.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you have a cat in the front every now and then in the front.
Okay.
So
And
Sean,
this is someone that we have on the committee to help us out,
Yeah.
Can't tell the
Okay.
difference between a dog and a cat.
Sean,
I sent out this story that was in the Community Advocate about what Westboro was doing, and not to misunderstand or anything like that. I sent that out as something that I think that might be something that we may want to consider. Not that I think that we could throw anything together at a short time like this, but this may be something, or maybe this sparks an idea in someone else's head about something else that we could do. But one of the things I was thinking of is if we wanted to, like when we have the VFW and we have Goulet Post on the line, ask if there might be any interest for the three of us to get together and do some sort of a recognition, not necessarily a banner, but do some sort of veteran recognition. Maybe it's a printing, maybe it's a picture, maybe it's a bulletin board where we can go like when they have the concerts on the common, we can have a bulletin board there and have information about other veterans and tacked up there, like in a Hall of Fame, something along that line. But just another idea about bringing veterans issues together. I just thought that might be a good idea as far as a starter, if you will.
Just a quick question. Are you
Oh,
referring
you
to
did,
the?
Sean, you have no quick questions.
Yes, I do. Quick question. Are you referring to the banners that they would put on light poles?
Yes,
An
Yep.
article about that in an adjoining town.
yes.
Okay, all right. Now I know. Now I know what you're stepping in. I mean, talking about.
I sent you the article, Sean. You could have
Yes,
Gene
dear.
read it to you.
Justin, Bob had something from before. Bob. It was
I've
before we got it.
long since forgotten what I was going to say.
Okay.
Oh, thanks to Jim and Sean. Sean, all these great ideas that we're coming up with, are you writing them down on a legal pad so we don't forget them?
I'm doing shorthand, and I'm gonna re-listen to this after you tell
Okay.
me when.
All right, because we're coming up with great ideas. Like I said, I don't want anybody to forget them.
But Bob, when I replay this, is there a button I can push for slow mode? All right.
The
Justin,
Justin,
only
you
other
had
thing I
something?
would
you were
add
gonna
to
say
that
something?
is I'm really getting a little annoyed with Lucas taking up everybody's talking time. So that's all.
I know. All these young guys.
Poor guy works all day and he thinks he can just talk our ears off, you know?
I only speak when things need to be said.
Uh, what is that? I've never heard of that.
Keeps us honest. Justin, what'd you have?
The town of Bolton created a packet that A to Z describes how to do what they call the Hometown Heroes banner program. And that would be the banners that go on the telephone pole there, Sean. The town of Grafton Rec Department has banner hardware, so we wouldn't have to buy any as long as the banners fit the banner hardware. Typically, you have to buy the banner and you have to buy the hardware. Banners run from anywhere between $150 to $300, depending on what type of stuff you get them printed on, what you have printed, all that stuff. It's all detailed in that packet, as far as I know. And it goes like, it really does. It said all you have to do pretty much is change the name Bolton to Grafton, and it'll be, and then the names of the people involved. It should be that easy. I don't know who's going to be listening to this, but Northborough did not follow the recommendation I made to follow that packet, and they have a pretty good banner program. So they did their own thing. The Northborough Boroughs Cares for Troops. That's the nonprofit that did it. Westboro is also not following my recommendation, and they didn't even give me a heads up when they ran that article in the paper, even though they referenced my office as a point of contact. So I was a little put out by that, and I hope to rectify that with the advisory board in Westboro. I have a meeting next week with their chairperson. I'm really looking forward to kind of smoothing that out, because while it didn't rile me up, it made me wonder, like, what is to stop them from doing that in the future, where they just kind of go, yeah, we're doing this great program and Justin's office is in charge of it. So, because I've had people come in my office today, we had 3 people walk in, and one guy was complaining about the banner program, and 2 people wanted to get the application or submit an application. And that's taking time from us doing our recertification right now. I wish they had waited to do the program in like January or February, or had done it prior to this in the summer and gotten it done for, they want to do it 2 times. They want to do it one on Memorial Day and one at Veterans Day. And I think it's a good idea for honoring the fallen around Memorial Day. You can put up veterans who have passed. And then I think it's a good idea to honor veterans who are currently alive if you're doing it in Veterans Day or November, something like that. But the town of Grafton is very supportive for that, of this program. If we decide to go through, I've felt out a little bit, but I not pulled the trigger on it because it does take some management and some planning. So if the group decides to go ahead and do something like that, I'd be happy to make that packet available to you that Bolton made. And I recommend using it or using parts of it or finding what you like out of it and pulling it out and doing your own thing if you think of a better way to do something. But my office will support that program as much as I can, as much as we can, and the town will as well. But if you can, if it can be done without much cost to the taxpayer through my budget, because I don't really have much of a budget to support that with, mostly donations, or if like a family is going to run a banner, maybe a donation and a company to match or something. There's a lot of things to do with that, but I would really appreciate any type of heads up you can give me if you start to go forward with a program like that, just so I'm aware of what's going on, and I can provide that information to people who ask about it or something like that. Because Westboro didn't give me a huge heads up, and I feel like I'm not able to support them as well as I could have if they had let me know ahead of time, and if they had let me know what they were going to run as an ad, I would have cut off a couple things, because we don't have the capability to do the program, and that's kind of what the ad is like saying, is that care of the Veteran Service Office, the advisory board is going to be doing this, and so we're fielding all the phone calls and questions about it. And so,
Just leave the Shrewsbury number.
Yeah. Yeah,
I was going to have Sean make a note that Justin's office is doing everything for us from now on. That, that's
Okay.
what I heard. That's what I took away.
That's cool.
No, Justin, if you could send us that packet
Okay.
and that Veterans Advisory Committee email that I thought you were added, found out you weren't added to. You should be on it now. If you
Okay.
shoot that out to us, it goes to everyone.
And what is that email address? Can you say that live?
I will. It's just I have to find it.
Okay.
The only thing.
Is it in the email that you tagged me in saying, are you on this email list?
It is that email.
Okay, I will email that back then with the packet.
Okay. And I'll look. It's just going to take me a minute to pull up my email. So
Justin, Souza, with that $150 cost, was that per banner?
Yes.
Holy
So
shit.
that may be with the hardware included. I'm not sure. But they're made of this really awesome material that doesn't, well, so I don't know where most towns have gone, but the one company Bolton used, the material is like impervious to the weather and resistant to fading. So you can leave it up for however long you want, or if you put it up 1 month at a time, you're going to get like 5 to 10 years of use out of it. So it's a good investment long term. But yeah, it's $150 to $300 per banner, roughly, depending on what company you use and what type of material they end up using.
Oh,
But it looks really nice. So, I mean, Bolton, they have in Westboro, or not Westboro, Marlboro, the council Chamber of Commerce funded everything, I think, through donations from local businesses. So no one in Marlboro had to pay for it. In Northborough, I think the Boroughs Cares for Troops nonprofit group paid for it out of their donation bin. And then in Westboro, they're soliciting donations of at least $150 or more, depending on how much you want to do.
Justin, I have that email address for you whenever you're ready.
Go ahead.
what are you looking for?
Veteran
Incoming? What is
Advisory.
that?
Sorry, Veterans
Advisory at grafton-ma.gov.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. Any other comments or questions on the banner discussion? Yes, Bob.
So the town of Holliston for many, many years used to put simple cardboard signs on every telephone pole in downtown on Main Street. And they simply wrote the name and the rank and the service of the fallen service member. And it was that way for many, many, many years. So if we found ourselves in a situation where we couldn't raise funds or didn't have funds or something simple as that, was just as effective, because when you drive through the town and it was, just driving by like a picket fence, which is one name after another, you had to actually slow down to read them all. But it doesn't have to be on a grand scale, it's everything, you can do everything in baby steps if need be, just an idea. But I like the idea of a banner, because I know people would probably like seeing banners as opposed to a piece of cardboard, but either way, it gets the point across. The other thing,
the point, you make an excellent point, though.
I got another one. I got another one.
Sean, get another pen. If we did something like that people might say, gee, that's a great idea, but wouldn't it be nice if we had something that lasted longer?
Right.
And
That's
that
why.
could lead right into a banner program.
Yeah. The other idea I was thinking about while you guys were chatting was, if the Lions have their 4th of July concert on the Common, that we could perhaps work with them and ask them to announce that, bring a photograph of someone in your family who has served, or bring a family of somebody in your family who has made the ultimate sacrifice, and kind of do something that way. There's a lot of stuff we can do that doesn't really cost big bucks.
Yeah.
This is the exact kind of stuff that I think that we should be doing.
I agree.
Good thinking, Bob.
Write that down, Sean. Bob came up with a good idea.
Go with them.
We're gonna have to buy one of those pens with different color ink. So okay. Bob's green ink, Jim's blue ink.
Justin, just so you know, you're there you go.
Yeah, I know. I gotta go. My kids are turning into pumpkins. Is there anything for me before I leave?
No, honestly, that was the last agenda item. So unless anybody has anything else.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right.
Awesome. Oh, thank you very much.
Have a good one, Justin.
Peace out.
I'm in favor. Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn. Lucas?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
And myself, Justin, aye. Meeting is adjourned. I've got down our next meeting will be Monday, January 24th at 1900.